Well, we're wrapping up 2023 and 2024 is just around the corner. People are making New Year's resolution. I found a recent survey that said 44% of Americans made a New Year's resolution last year. I wasn't one of them. If I made a resolution, I would probably break it in the first week. That's just who I am. But what I find helpful is to reflect on the past, to look back over the past, not to look back at all the regrets or the sorrows, but also to look at what God has been doing in my life. You know, as I reflect on the past, I remember all the good things that God has done and how God has moved him out. He's always been there through the good and the bad, that he's always shown me love, that he's always shown me grace, that he's always shown me mercy. You know, that God is there and he's present in my life and he's comforting in my life. And I appreciate that he's protected me, he's guided me, he's guarded me, and he's cared for me when I was hurting. He's just an amazing, ever-present God, always faithful. And so that's when I look at the past to see what God is doing. See, remembering the past brings hope to the future. It gives us hope because it's a God who, let's see, how can I say this? Well, let me put it this way, that nothing is impossible with God, that all things work together for good to those who love him, that he comforts those who are broken, that there's a purpose in life, that God is there. So when we look over the past, we just remember God's love, his mercy, his grace. And we need those remembrances because that's what brings hope to the future. God knew that, and that's why when Israel crossed the Jordan River, maybe you're familiar when Joshua led Israel into the promised land, that he split the Jordan River just as he did the Red Sea, and Israel crossed on dry land. And after they crossed, God had Joshua send some men back into the dry riverbed and take out some stones. And they made a pile of stones so that the people would remember. Here's what he wrote. Someday your children will ask you, why are these rocks here? Then you can tell them how the water stopped flowing when the crest was being carried across the river. These rocks will always remind our people of what happened here today. He's saying remembering the past brings hope to the future. And so I just want to encourage you. Maybe it's time not to make a New Year's resolution, but instead write some God stories. To write some stories, maybe of a time when God comforts you in the midst of a sorrow or sadness or heartache. Or maybe writing down a blessing that God poured out upon you during that time. So I just want to encourage you, maybe instead of writing a New Year's resolution, why don't you write a God story that you can remember next year what God did this year, because that will give you hope for tomorrow. So I just want to encourage you. God bless you. Have a great week. Enjoy what God is doing. I'll see you Sunday. We're having the Lord's Supper, a special service. It's taken all three of us, Dan, myself, and Scott, to make this happen. So we're going to have a great time. Invite you down to share with us as we share the Lord's Supper and celebrate God's blessings and gifts in our lives. God bless you. Have a great weekend. See you Sunday.